Alright, we're live. Guys, coming to y'all from Dog River. This is the Grand Mariner Marina on Dog River. And restaurant. Don't forget the restaurant. I hear they've got really good food here. Haven't eaten here in a while, and I intend to come back and check it out. I just grabbed the wrong day, I believe. Dog River's kind of a lot of people, I guess, know it for the weekends, but you can come out here all week. I'm sure there's certain hours you can eat. Not sure what the hours are, but great place to get some food. But today I want to do, hey, a little kitty cat in the background. I'm gonna do story time with Captain Fish today. I used to live in this marina. I lived here for 7 to 9 years, sometime around there. I had a couple different boats in here, and I want to do a story, and what I'm calling it is Pirates, Hippies, and River Rats. And basically these were people that I want to talk about that lived on boats here in this marina about 25 years ago, and they were a very, very interesting bunch of characters. So what I'm going to do, there's several people I want to mention, and I don't want to leave anybody out, but the first one, I remember there was a couple over here getting out of their Mercedes, and I saw a little tent over in the background over here where these dumpsters are. They're like, "Oh, you must be the young man that lives in a tent." And I was like, "No, ma'am. I know I look like it, but I've got a 40-foot boat over here, and that's a doctor that lives in the tent." And she couldn't quite grasp that. I said, "Well, welcome to the Grand Mariner. You never know what you're going to find." But that was the doctor was a guy named we all called him Rowboat Jimmy. Rowboat Jimmy paddled I think it was a 14 or 16-foot John boat all the way down the Mississippi River with nothing but, I think he had a blanket and some books. And he just, the guy was an optometrist. He had he had money, but I think he had a fancy house and wife and cars and all that, and that's just not what he wanted. He was just wanting to live a pure lifestyle. And so he rode his boat down here, and nice guy. He's no longer with us. This video is kind of going to be more of also a memorial to a lot of those folks that aren't here anymore, but I would say they lived a really good life. Standing right here where I'm at right now, there was, I guess right here behind me, there used to be a couple named Tony and Scarlett. Tony and Scarlett lived on I think it was a 17-foot Aquasport. That's right, it was a 17-foot Aquasport center console. They lived on their boat right over here, and they had a canopy sewed around the boat. Well, there was a little small bed up front in front of the console, and behind it there was a little Coleman stove and a little porta potty and a full enclosure around it. They lived it. They lived there. They were happy. And most people say, how do you live in a 17-foot boat? Well, fishing boat at that. Well, they did. Up here on the dock, they had they'd put some artificial turf down with a little kiddie pool, and they'd have their little lounge chairs around there with their flags up, pirate flags, and that was they said that was their oasis. Well, one day they showed me a flyer of a boat they wanted to buy, and it was like a 45-foot sailboat, and I'm thinking, man, these guys can't afford that boat. I'd say about a week later, they showed up at the marina in a much larger boat. I think it was close to a 50-foot sailboat that was just rigged out, and about a day later they just disappeared. Hadn't seen them again. So I wish them well. I hope they're still sailing somewhere and having a good life. But that was they were just a really, really awesome couple. Third person may still be living around here. I hadn't talked to him in quite a while. His name was Dennis, and he was just an all-around nice guy. Can't really say enough about him. Do anything in the world to help anybody. But I'll remember when I think of Dennis, I think of a little boat party we had over here down the dock, and I remember it was going to rain. And I think it did rain. I think it poured. But we had, I think we invited about 10, 15 people, and, you know, because it was going to rain. And I think we had 30 people showed up. But anyway, I remember Dennis having a little too much fun, and I think he passed out in the dinghy, which was tied up next to my boat, and I think somebody untied him or something. And needless to say, we ended up walking, having to go get another boat and get him, because I think he floated down the river. But just good times, good times. You can see in the back of me there was a fire here a few years ago, so this was they've got this area shut down. You can't walk down the dock, but that's okay. There was another couple, young couple. They were probably in their 20s, Johnny and Veronica, and they had a really beautiful, I think it was a 28 Hirschoff they lived on in this marina right here behind me. And they didn't believe in power. They had you know, used hand saws, had a hand operated crank drill, and that was just their way of life. They were very primitive. But they used to bring people produce all the time, like fresh produce, and make these big batches of spaghetti, and just, you know, very generous. Well, we found out months later, everybody's eating all this food. We found out they were dumpster diving. So luckily none of us got sick, but anyway, so they one day up and took some oars and paddled their 28-foot sailboat out of here, and never saw them again. I hope they're doing well. Back over, turn the camera, can't see it because it's not there, but where the dock ended, there was a couple named Tim and Debbie who are close to my heart. They were just, I would say, the nicest people I've ever met. I mean, I truly miss them. They were just real people, and they are no longer with us, and love them to death, and hopefully I'll see them again one day. But they had a boat down on the end of the dock. I think the name of it was Spoiled Rotten. It was a I cannot remember. I think it was a wooden boat, but it was I think it was about 38 foot. They had their 2 daughters lived on the boat with them. One of them's still a good friend of mine today, and we had a little boating accident one time. I won't get into it, but we only person we could think of to call, and that was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and sure enough, Tim didn't let us down. He came to the rescue. He was there probably I mean, I'd say 30 minutes later, he was there with his boat to help us out. And you know, so here's to you, Tim and Debbie. So anyway, the next let's see, who else was I was going to talk to? There was a guy also down the end of the dock. His name was Jamin, and Jamin sailed down on a 26-foot Pearson sailboat with his dog, had a black lab, and they sailed all the way down the Mississippi River, and by himself. He was young. He was always known as our daredevil. He was jumping off the top of masts and spreaders, and just, you know, just full of energy, full of life. And I think to this day, I think he's jumping out of airplanes, parachuting and that kind of stuff. A little crazier than I am, but anyway, great guy. So anyway, I think that was really all I was going to mention. Oh, one of the most important people, there was a guy over here where Tony and Scarlett lived. He had I think it was a 24-foot Cal 24 flush deck. Didn't have any headroom. His name was Robert, and Robert's no longer with us, but he lived on that little boat for, I believe, 13 years. And I mean, he was the guy that just, everybody loved Robert. You couldn't ask for a nicer guy. And he also worked here at the marina. But Robert, you know, he lived in his little boat, basically right here behind me where I'm talking. But he also had a little, I don't know what you call this boat. It was a little motor boat. It was a 2-seater, little steering wheel. It looked like something you'd, in like a bumper boat or something you see at the fair. I mean, the whole thing was probably 5 foot long. But he used to just ride around. I guess you'd say he's our river rat. He'd ride around the Dog River and hop around different places, and had just a little small motor on the back, but had a really loud stereo, and everybody always see Robert looked like he was driving a little car down the river. So, but anyway, just some memories. I thought it was, you know, just a few years ago, but it's 25 years ago that all this happened, that these people were here, and they're no longer with us. So they loved their boating life, they loved their sailing, and you know, it's just life's short, so you got to make the best of it. But anyway, I just wanted to give y'all a little tour and let y'all know about the history of some people here at the Grand Mariner Marina. And maybe if y'all are out and about, I just met some loopers doing the Great Circle Loop in a trawler. So if y'all are, you know, a lot of people stop by here, get their supplies, get their fuel, come eat. It's a really relaxing place with a good aura to it. Some great people that own it, and it's just a really awesome place. I think they do music on the weekends. You'd have to check with them on that. But it's pretty filled up marina, and it's really laid back, and just a beautiful day today. Kind of cold, so it's not too bad. I guess it's probably about 45 degrees today. I'm wearing flip-flops. So, but anyway, this is the video I've been trying to get out to you guys, and like I say, just wanted to do a kind of a memorial, you know, and pay tribute to these great people. And signing out, Captain Fish, and I'll see you guys on the next one.